Hello chess family, it's me National Master Jesse James, and today we're going over a very fun variation of one of the openings I love to play as white against e4, e5, which is called the Scotch opening. And this one we're going over a very interesting idea which is called the Steinitz attack, where basically the queen comes out to h4 here and puts pressure on the e4 pawn. So if you haven't seen this one, this is a fun one to try out for black, but also I want you to know how to play against it as white if you do come across this, as white is better, but this is a very tricky variation. So let's get to it. Here we go. I was playing the white pieces. I'm playing against a very good player, Vienna Vibes with a 2300 rating. I was 2500 at the time, and so I start off with my coveted e4 move, best by test, as Fisher used to say. Pawn to e5, very solid reply. Knight f3 attacks the pawn, knight c6 defends the pawn. Here there's many different ways to play here for white, but here I chose to play what's called the Scotch and play pawn to d4, one of my favorite moves. At this point, I'm trying to open up the position by making pawn trades, and well, when that happens, things can get crazy, and you can play for wins because you get an imbalance in the position. And here, the best move, pawn takes on d4, knight takes on d4, this is the official Scotch now, and here queen to h4 gets played, and this is known as that Steinitz variation, where the queen comes out. It kind of looks like the wayward queen attack. And, well, very simple. The queen comes out, and we should be able to kick her away, but you have to do it the right way. Hopefully no one here is just seeing the queens out and playing g3, as that would just be a big blunder. Here, queen takes on e4 check, forking the king and the rook. Just remember, when the queen comes out too early like this, make sure you defend everything that she is attacking first. In this scenario, it is the e3 pawn, the e4 pawn, so simple chess, we're going to go ahead and defend with knight to c3. And here, black has a very interesting move, which is bishop to b4. And here, believe it or not, I have not been playing the best line all these years, but now that I know it, I'm going to start playing it more. Here, I've been playing this idea of knight takes on c6. And the reason why I've been playing it is because, well, I get very good games out of it. With this whole idea of bishop to b4, the idea is to play queen takes on e4 check. And I know I'm going to lose this pawn each time, but I love to gambit or give away pawns so I can get my pieces out faster. So, well, I'm okay with this. With that being said, let me show you the correct way real quick how you're supposed to treat this variation. After bishop b4 gets played, with queen takes on e4 check being threatened because, well, there's a pin right here, right? Here, you actually get to play, here we actually play, instead of that, bishop e2. The idea is very simple, and these lines we're just going to go ahead and get ready to castle, and grabbing this pawn too early gives white sufficient compensation. You might say, well, why can't we just take the pawn now? You definitely can. Queen takes e4, and now white is going to go ahead and punish black with this idea of knight to b5. And here, we're threatening knight takes on c7 check, which is not so simple to stop. In fact, well, black really doesn't really have any good moves here other than really playing king d8 to really defend. For instance, well, the computer gives this idea, which I'm not sure if anyone's looking at. Bishop takes on c3 check. Pawn takes, and now knight takes c7 is still being threatened here. And, well, that's whenever the king just runs over d8. There's lots of different ways you can try to defend, but just going to be a very hard game for you. For instance, let's say queen over to e5, f4, and now we're going to be removing the defender. The queen must move from the defense of c7. Let's see, what about, someone might be asking, what about these queen takes g2 variations? Those are just losing right away. Bishop to f3, which not only attacks the queen, but defends the rook. The queen must move, and again, we get knight takes on c7 check here, winning at least a rook. Your king is a little bit messed up in the center, but an extra piece or an extra rook should be enough to win the game quite easily here. So, because of this slight variation, which is almost very similar to the one that I play, well, it's just not the best here. So here I play knight takes on c6, and here black was very happy. Queen takes on e4 check, bishop over to e2. Again, the same idea as last time. If queen takes on g2, we can play bishop f3. Queen takes on c6, and here, well, let's get out the center as soon as possible. We go ahead and castle. Again, I'm more than happy to gambit another pawn. Most people do not take this pawn, but sometimes they do. I'll definitely show some games where they do. But, well, here black was definitely a good player and said, one pawn is good enough for me. Let's go ahead and get ready to castle. So we played knight to e7, which is definitely one of the best tries in the position. Knight f6 fails to impress because, well, one of the ideas is to get the rook to e1 check here. Now white has an advantage, +1, meaning we're basically up an extra pawn. Simple chess, we go bishop f3 to attack the queen. And then, well, there's many moves here for black. Let's say they play one of the best ones, which is queen to d6, offering a trade. Now you can go rook over to e1 check, and you're going to get your compensation there because, well, black is going to lose the right to castle. Anyways, there's lots of variations like this. When the king's in the center, you're going to open up files and make trades to attack your opponent. So here, black played the correct move, knight to e7, getting ready to castle. And here, well, we still get some free tempos because the queen is out too early. So we're going to go ahead and make some attacks. Bishop f3, allowing rook e1 ideas, but getting a free tempo by attacking the queen. Again, queen to d6 was best to try to make some trades here, although white is still getting a small advantage out of this. But here, black made a mistake and played queen to g6. It looks like a good move, but, well, it's just white is going to have a very strong move here. It's white to move. What do you play here to grab the advantage? All right, if you haven't already, go ahead and give us that like and subscribe. Remember, liking this video is going to show this with more chess players. Now here, I did not play what the computer liked the most, although I still like it the most. Here the computer suggests queen to d4, attacking the bishop. And, well, I guess that's mainly it, just really attacking the bishop over here. And the bishop is having a hard time finding a good square. With that being said, I like the move I played most, which is to attack c7. It's unprotected, so I played knight to b5, the second best move in the position, and still giving a +1 advantage. And believe it or not, it's not so simple to defend the c7 square. And this is actually very common in this opening in general, at least for black, to play the move of king to d8. Black is so used to this, they just played it right away. And like I said, it was just very hard to defend against this. We'll actually see some ideas with like queen coming over to b6 or bishop a5 to defend. But the same ideas that I played in the game is the same ideas that's going to happen with those side variations. So here after king d8, well, your opponent's king's in the center. Let's go ahead and develop our pieces and attack our opponent. Here, what's the next piece we want to move? It's our bishop. So bishop went to f4, attacking on c7 over here. And, well, black played the move I thought they'd play. They went ahead and played bishop to a5. You can also play pawn to d6 here too, but this actually gets played later on, and we still get an advantage with this. But here, like I said, bishop a5 got played, and here the idea, open up files and attack your opponent. What does that mean? You need pawn trades. We want to bring the rooks into the game and the queen into the game, but they're going to need open files to attack. So with that idea, here we go. Did you find the move yet? Pawn to b4 gets played. Here we attack the bishop, and of course bishop doesn't want to take, because then we get to take on c7 with either the knight or the bishop. And, well, white is just going to be very happy here. So black played the only move that they could think of, which was bishop to b6. Again, the idea is very simple here. Push your pawns, attack your opponent, and, well, we're going to try to kick the bishop from the defense of c7. So what do we play? Pawn to c4. Here, the new idea is to play pawn to c5, and this is going to either trap the bishop or we're going to be able to win the pawn on c7. Here, black is in a very big trouble here. Now we're at a +3 advantage, basically up a whole piece here. And black went ahead and played pawn to a6, attacking the knight. Okay, simple chess. No need to go into complications. I just brought the knight back to c3, the best move. And here, black played a bad move of pawn to d6. And now, well, I'll ask you one more time, what is the best move in this position? At this point, white just won very fast because we were able to open up lines against the king. Did you find it? Here you get to play pawn to c5, here attacking the bishop, but the main idea, putting pressure on d6. And this king's going to get opened up, and, well, the game's just going to end very fast now. Bishop went back. Of course, you don't want to lose a piece. You can't take due to the pin, of course. And, well, let's go ahead and take ourselves. Pawn takes, pawn takes. Bishop takes on d6. Hopefully nobody took with the queen here. You can take with the queen, but since you're attacking, let's keep the queens on the board. It's one of the best pieces. Here, black went ahead and played bishop d7. It makes sense. He's trying to get out the way because of, well, this king is about to get attacked. And here, just simple chess. There's no need to get crazy here. Bishop takes on b7. We're going to win the rook. But again, one of the main ideas is open up the files against this king. Yeah, at this point, my opponent just went ahead and resigned, seeing that they're going to lose the rook. And it's not even that they're going to lose the rook for the exchange. It's just the king is so vulnerable, and these pieces are just so badly placed. All right, guys, hope you enjoyed this. This was that Steinitz attack with a very interesting idea of playing queen to h4. Just remember, do not make that mistake I've been playing, which I'm going to make the correction of, which is playing bishop e2 here after, knight takes on c6 here after bishop e4. You're going to play the idea of bishop e2, and you should be getting a very good advantage. Remember, knight b5 is one of the main ideas to put pressure on c7. This usually either wins you a pawn or delays them from castling. All right, guys, hope you enjoyed this. We'll see you in the next video.